Some of us are outwardly successful, but inwardly feel unhappy and living a life lacking in purpose and meaning. The Necktie and the Jaguar by Carl Greer can help you discover what's important to you and how to go for it. For more information or to purchase the book, visit carlgreer.com. That's CARLGREER.com. Welcome to Voice Rising with Kara Johnstad. Enjoy weekly conversations with leading luminaries, pioneering visionaries, singers, poets, musicians, and sound healers as we explore the profound role our voice plays on the path to self-realization and global enlightenment. The internationally acclaimed singer, composer, author, healer, recording artist, voice expert, creator of Voice Your Essence, and founder of the School of Voice, Kara Johnstad uses her extraordinary spiritual gifts to empower others. Everything in this world vibrates. Everything has a frequency. A pioneer in the field of voice work and transformational songwriting. Her breakthrough methods are helping thousands of people worldwide fine-tune their body-mind-spirit system and unlock the energetic frequencies of limitless creativity, health, and abundance. Share your voice, ask your questions, join in the conversation. Receive life-changing, positive transformation and rise together to create a sound world. And here's your host, Kara Johnstad.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Today I have a very special show for you. With me in studio is the singer-songwriter, producer, and multi-instrumentalist, Donna De Lory. We're here to talk about her new release, her new album. Welcome, Donna, to Voice Rising.
It's great to be here. That was such a soothing, beautiful introduction for you and your show. I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Donna, you just released a brand new album entitled Gone Beyond. And I believe that you created this album in your home in Topanga Canyon last year during all the COVID lockdowns. Share with us a little bit how this last year, or maybe the last 2 years actually have been for you, and what role music has played in getting through these lockdowns.
Yeah, I feel like I'm ultimately an optimist, and when things happen, I always look at like there's a reason for this, something good is going to come out of this. Mm-hmm. When we had the lockdown, my daughter was thrilled because she got to stay home and have school online. She got to do homeschool, which she always wants to do. Yeah. And so she would go to school in the morning and then she'd be off like around noon or 1 o'clock or something. So I'd have that time to go up into my studio. And, I'm not like an expert on Pro Tools, which is the recording software program on the computer, but I have enough skills that I can like basically put things down. I have my microphone set up all the time and my mic pre and everything. So I realized like no one can come over right now. It's just me. I go up there, turn on the wall heater and turn on my mic, get the computer going. And I wanted to slow down and be able to make a meditation album, but I really, this provided the perfect opportunity, obviously. I'd just go in there and I'd start singing and layering my voice. Maybe I would start with just a drone that I had put down, or I have an app, which is a Tambura. It's called Tambura Pro, right? So I could put down either a tabla kind of a loop or a just a drone and sing over that. So I just started so simply. I started going through like older, sounds and rhythms from other tracks that I could kind of recycle. And I started the whole process. And then I started reaching out to other musicians that were like Tony Levin, who is always so hard to track down because he's always on the road. You guys know his work from Peter Gabriel, King Crimson, and he's a legendary all-star bass player. And he plays fretless, which I love so much, and Chapman stick.
Yeah.
So he was around. He's like, well, I'm not doing anything because I'm just home, so send your tracks. So I sent him the tracks. And then same with Jerry Murata, who's another incredible drummer. He plays the Taos drums along with all his other drums. So I met him at a NAMM show when he was playing the Taos drums. So I thought on one track I heard that on on a song called Mary Meditation. And I started reaching out to Jamie Sieber, who I love her cello, her cello work and her solo albums. All of her music is incredible, you guys. So Jamie Sieber. And then there was a flute player I reached out to who's in India. Yeah, and I just started getting, they start sending back these tracks, and they would magically go right into my session.
Nice.
And then most of the time they were lined up with the session because we would send the reference of the track to them that they were recorded to and send it back. Sometimes they were off, which could get a little stressful because when Tony Levin's bass is a little off, you don't want to try to guess where he played that note. You want really where he played that note.
Right.
You want that feel.
Right.
And so I think it was only one track we really had to keep nudging it. At that point, it was a few months in to the lockdown, and we had our masks on, and we thought, okay, we can have the windows open, but have our masks on and work together. You know how that was for everyone. We just slowly were okay, we're safe. We're not dying yet,
Yeah.
And slowly opened up, and then I ended up doing, being able to record with maybe a couple people, but with the windows open and the masks on and everything. And but I used it as an opportunity to just go within myself and find that meditative place that I get to when I'm listening to music that I find healing, meditative, that I use as a tool. I wanted to get to that place hearing my own music and to not be in that critical mindset of oh, that shaker's too loud, that guitar's pan to the far to the right, where I could just experience it and let it just calm my nervous system, slow down my pulse, and just experience it. And ultimately, when we were mixing the album, Kevin Killen, who mixed all my albums, was in New York City mixing, and I was listening to the mixes back. I just got lost, just in that place of you're kind of almost you're meditating, but you're kind of drifting off. And it was just so beautiful. And I just kept saying to him as he was mixing it, "This is just so beautiful, Kevin. Thank you so much." And that was that process. It definitely put me more in a place of making healing, more healing music and using my voice as an instrument for that. And I feel like I'm going to go even further in that direction. And I'm in a place right now in my life where I'm working on healing myself and listening to a lot of music for that. And so it's a good time for that for me.
Yeah, I think for some of our listeners who don't know how music is normally produced, normally you would have called the bass player and the drummer, and they would have laid down that track or that groove, and you would have been singing on top. And so that was what was so special about this. Your daily practice is that you were laying down your voice as if it was colors, almost a tapestry or watercolor, right? You were layering your voice, and then you invited them to come in and add to those colors that you had already created from that deep space of meditation, right?
Absolutely. And
yeah,
and sometimes there's a, you're so used to just the vocals, so there was a piece that was just all vocals, Mary Meditation, and Jamie and I just left it up to them to come in when they felt like it. I didn't give them direction. I'm come in on bar 35, So Jamie came in earlier. Jerry came in earlier than I had originally imagined. I thought it was going to be mainly vocal piece, and on the outro they really all came in. And then Tony Brown with his fretless bass, which is just so, I just find it so emotional, and it's just so moving to me. The sound of it, I've heard that bass on so many Peter Gabriel records that I listen to for Mercy Street and Blood of Eden and Don't Give Up, and that were healing songs for me. So to hear that tone, it was earlier than I thought in the piece, but I had to get used to it. And then I thought, yeah, this is all good. I'm going to keep that there and kind of sometimes I had to reimagine pieces that I thought were just going to be vocals. And I had in mind to be so simple on the record, where I feel like my next record could even be more simple, And I love the idea of creating space and silence with the music. So you're actually putting down sound, but you're helping open people's senses and their hearing. And it's an amazing thing. It's like, why is that when you're in nature and you play music and you're outside in your backyard, or let's say at a festival, for some reason, because you're listening to the music enhances the birds and the sound of the wind and sound of breathing. And it's a pretty incredible thing. And that's what happens for me with music. So I hope that happens for other people when they listen to the music.
You talked a little bit before that you yourself are in a place of healing. What nuggets of wisdom did these songs give you? What support did they give you in your own healing process? Were there any messages that came through?
Well, I remember, I had been holding on to some stuff that happened with my family dynamic. My daughter had moved away. My husband, who was really like her, helped raise her, but not her biological father. So anyway, she moved away 3 years ago. I'd been, holding on to the past, holding on to that situation and that hurt from 3 years ago. And I just knew, I just prayed, I'm like, let this music, let this be a tool. Let me let go of this. It was a prayer of just finding peace, inner peace, praying to let go of that. And I just remember when I started singing that forgiveness prayer. I love the prayer, and it's so simple and repetitive. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And as you go on in life, you guys out there who know, you've been around long enough, there's like, there's some stuff you add up that you're holding on to. And when you really start, let's say, saying that prayer or just thinking about it, or maybe a piece of music moves you and you have that intention, you want to let go. You realize, oh my gosh, I also have this thing with my dad. And oh my gosh, I also have that thing with my old friend that we're not speaking anymore. So when I was singing that prayer, I was looking up, and I have these shelves, and my dad, it's like I have his Grammy up there and pictures of myself with him and unresolved stuff from his death that I was holding, I was feeling bad about, that I didn't do enough, or whatever that was. I was looking at his picture and I was saying that prayer, and it was just so profound to feel like, wow, this could be my healing right here and right now. And it was really powerful. And I just remember just being reminded of this is a daily practice. This is a prayer I need to say a lot. And there's some stuff I got to let go of here. And I always thought, I need to let go of this because it's, we're really ultimately the ones that it hurts when we're holding on to stuff. It manifests it can manifest in just never quite being happy, being annoyed by things, or disease, or in your relationship. So I'm really I've been really on a path of letting go, and, forgiveness it's a big word. And we have to, first and foremost, forgive ourselves. So
yeah. We will be playing the forgiveness prayer, but we're going to play it a little bit later. I wanted to start with the track Gate para Samgate Bodhisvaha, which is, I believe, the English translation. This is a Buddhist mantra that is found at the end of the Heart Sutra, and the English translation is "Gone beyond to a further shore." And I think this inspired you to create the title "Gone Beyond" for your album. And I'd love to play this before we go into a break. Are there any short words you'd like to share with us about this track, or should we just listen to it and then circle in?
I could just say that I started, singing this many times. There'll be like an English song. Like I have the song "Miracle of Love" that I actually happen to have my guitar right here. That's like, I believe in the miracle of love. So at the end of the end of the song, when I'd be playing a show, I just started singing over that Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Soha. So I had the experience of singing that over and over, which mantras are so beautiful and repetitive, with an audience. And then that's what was the inspiration for the song, to have that mantra, have the song music evolve into that mantra and have that repeat, and have people feel like they can sing along.
Beautiful. Let's listen to Om Gate Gate Para Gate, and we're going to go from that song right into a break, and then we'll be back with more with Donna De Lory and her newest album, Gone Beyond.
The cutting edge of conscious radio, OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at OMTimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
With happy clients all over the world, Kara Johnstad knows that your voice is the missing link to more authenticity, abundance, creativity, and health. An internationally acclaimed voice expert, Kara's breakthrough methods have helped thousands of people successfully heal their voice wounds and extinguish the story of self-doubt and shyness forever. Join in group trainings, attend online sessions, schedule one-on-one time, and invite Kara to work with your organization and community. Get started today. Go to www.karajohnstad.com and receive a special guided meditation designed to fine-tune your inner voice and welcome you on the voice journey.
This is Kathy Beal, host of Celestial Compass, featuring astrology you can use. Celestial Compass points you to what's going on in the sky and what you can do with it down here on Earth. We also explore fun, effective, and cosmic tools for navigating this adventure we call life. Join me the first and third Monday of the month at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for Celestial Compass. It's enlightening, entertaining, and empowering.
COVID-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
If you're feeling increasingly lonely right now, you're not alone. It's totally normal. Even though we may not be able to get together in person, connecting virtually with friends and family still gives you a chance to interact with people and may help raise your spirits. Join a virtual book club, set up group text chats, or online video coffee breaks with coworkers.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
Welcome back to Voice Rising. I'm your host, Kara Johnstad, and with me in studio today is singer-songwriter Donna De Lory, and we are talking about her new album, Gone Beyond. Donna, Ho'oponopono is an ancient Hawaiian practice that combines love, forgiveness, repentance, and gratitude in 4 powerful phrases, which are, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. You were talking before the break about your forgiveness prayer, and your forgiveness prayer has these 4 phrases that are interwoven. They're basically, what I hear is these 4 phrases: I love you, I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you. Share with us a little bit. You were talking about your dad, and you're talking about your daughter leaving. You're talking about your own healing journey. How do you work with those phrases? And do you play with them like in a different order? Some people start with I'm sorry. Some people start with I love you. What was your process working with those 4 words?
I love
4
phrases.
phrases.
I love you, because it's, you're also talking to yourself. I love you. It opened your heart. I love the vibration of the words. I started playing with it after a while. I started repeated, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And then I'm sorry. I play around with different melodies with that. And I did send it to my longtime singing partner, Nikki Harris, who she makes a lot of jazz and gospel and all kinds of records as a solo artist. But her and I toured with Madonna for years, singing background and dancing. And I just thought it would be so perfect to have her on there as well. But it didn't work out because, unfortunately, I think she tried to set something up in her house and it was distorted. So that didn't end up on the record because I wanted it to be, I tried to use it, but it was distracting. I wanted it to be really pure. But I think on a really funky, a cool remix, which I tend to put beats under a lot of my songs. They keep them, so they go kind of more in a trance direction, trance dance, but to keep it meditative. I'm always trying to go for that because I love that kind of music for different moods, But I just, Jamie put her cello down, and at one point she starts changing the bass notes with the bowing the cello, bringing in that lower frequency. I loved that. And then I love at the end, the mixer had put an effect on the guitar, and I feel like it just opened it up. And at the very end, I was thinking at one point of having Marianne Williamson, like, just speak her forgiveness prayer over that. But I thought, well, let me just keep it open and just let people just meditate to that and not. It's so beautiful to be guided, but sometimes you just need that space.
Yeah.
And I feel like that can be its own piece. And now, I mean, so many people will put down a 30-minute healing piece of music, which is amazing, because if you have a practice, I mean, in that 30 minutes, you're going to get that consistency of sound. And for me, we have a near infrared sauna. I go into the sauna and I listen to a piece by Alexia Chellin. Do you know who that is?
No,
yeah.
I don't.
So,
yeah.
Oh, she's got, this has been my mantra lately. My body, mind, and spirit are healthy. It's just
That's
beautiful.
a good thing,
I give thanks for the health that I have. Every cell and atom healed. It's like getting very, like, into you're speaking to your body and your biology.
Talking to the innate. Yeah, talking to the innate. I mean, I think people forget
to your microbiome. I mean,
right. We have that ability. We have the power of word, and we have the power of intent. And also music focuses these frequencies in a beautiful way. So we do have that ability to heal with everything that we speak, right? And I think that is why also mantras are so powerful, and affirmations, of course, if we sing or speak our affirmations, because we can consciously give our body what it needs to stay in tune, and stay in balance, right?
There's a difference, I feel, like, when I hear just a positive affirmation, but then when I hear it sung, it just touches me. And maybe that's because I just love the vibration of music and tone and melody. But I feel like it's really, really powerful, and I look forward to doing more of that.
Yeah.
More
nice.
Positive affirmations.
Beautiful. Let's listen to your forgiveness prayer. Let's listen to at least part of the track so people can hear these words. I love you, I'm sorry, forgive me, and thank you. You were listening to the forgiveness prayer from Donna De Lory, who's with me in studio right here and now. Donna, why do you think it's so hard for people to forgive? Why do they carry things with so long?
I feel, it's just stuff is, one aspect of that is you have to know yourself deeply, because I feel like there's layers as life goes on. There are layers of emotion and stuff that's stored in your body. You could be getting a massage and somebody like pushes into your back somewhere and you're like, oh my gosh, you get a feeling comes up. So that's what spiritual practice is for, I believe. Keep yourself open to being these aspects of yourself that need to be healed, being revealed. And that's what I was trying to say, like when I was singing that prayer and making that music. It was just so beautiful because I thought, wow, this music I'm making is opening me and it's opening my heart, and it's setting an intention to heal and to let go. And it is, we all have our own stories and our own justifications of holding on to things. And it's just, hopefully, we don't have to end up getting a life-threatening disease or something happening to us to really be shaken to like, I gotta let this go, that we can, love is the strongest medicine. Neem Karoli Baba. It really is. And I think through love of yourself, through self, nurturing, learning how to really deeply take care of yourself, take time for yourself and tune in to those places. I just feel like it's a lifetime process, and hopefully, that we've been working on that and letting go. And ultimately when we do leave this life, it'll be so much easier to let go. Because we've done this work and we've let go of a lot, and it helps to be able to let someone else know they can just energetically feel the shift when you've let go of something you've been holding with them. You've been holding back your love, and that only really hurts
your love. Yeah,
hurts yourself. It hurts you first and foremost, and them. And and I'm talking about like deep relationships, So I think so many of my songs and my music is really this longing for healing. And when I was like 12, I think my mom got breast cancer. And so I think that was obviously just put me on the health path and everything. But it was just such an influence in my life, watching her go through that, but then passing away like around 3-4 years later, it just set me on this path. But at that time, I needed to push all that down and get on with my life. I was kind of like out on my own with my dad. We moved to Nashville, and I was like, my dreams, But eventually you end up, when you can deal with that, you start dealing with it. And I've always just had that longing for truth and healing. And, I've been on the conscious living path since, believe it or not, since I moved to Nashville, Tennessee in like early 80s. So it's just been really interesting.
It's a life journey then for you.
Yeah.
This is your life. This is the path.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a difference for you? I was just curious. Is there a difference for you as a singer who has sung many different genres? If you think of, let's say, blues or even folk, where they name what needs to be healed, and then there's a transformation, right? In blues, you might say, I'm having a rough day, or somebody's abusive, and, I believe in the light, and it's going to give me the strength, and I'm then going to be free, right? Is there a difference for you for singing those kind of transformational songs, or singing songs, for example, where one just states an affirmation or a mantra, where one is already, almost as if one is already in the state, what what one is moving towards. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but to say I am light, or my body is healthy, or my body's healed. That's the one path, right? That's most of the mantras are like this. And the blues would say, I feel tired, I feel down, and it's like, but I'm gonna heal, and then we're moving in that direction. What's the difference for you as a singer when you sing these different genres?
Well, I started, I always said that like songs that, it's like back when I was making like pop records, my first solo album, but the songs I knew because I'd been on tour and done the same songs every night, with other artists, I knew they were mantras. And I was conscious of what I was going to say over and over. And if I was saying like, you broke my heart, I don't feel like I'm ever going to be the same, but I want to get over you, I feel like I'll be saying that over and over again. Where if I said something more affirming my own strength and my own seeking enlightenment and my own evolution, it was a different thing. And I remember just when I made my first mantra album, it's like when you're singing, you're going to this more universal space that's more like transcendent. It's like, to me, I was witnessing more my soul in this incarnation, singing out to the universe, to the creator. And that was on my first album, The Lover and the Beloved Are One. I mean, that was the concept of it. It's called The Lover and the Beloved. So it's identifying with this, all of life and the oneness of life and everything. It's just like, it's so big and universal, versus, which I love, talking about, finding God through relationships and through suffering. And I think that's really important too, but it keeps you in that, sometimes it keeps you in your body in that place of suffering. And you need to like transform that and put it into something else. So I when I do write about that stuff, hard, challenging experiences, I try to get to a place in the songwriting where I'm really like, okay, this made me suffer. This is the hardest thing I've ever gone through, this and that. But ultimately, it's made me stronger and a better person. And I can really fly now. I can really be there for others. And I've tapped into my own strengths. And it tapped into that deeper understanding of who and what I am. But there's still those songs, I joke around. I went into my daughter's class because I was teaching them the third grade, music. So I went in and played a blues progression, and it was just in the moment what they were going through in their day. And I just used as an example, I got the doggy blues. He's chewing up my shoes. He, whatever. He's chewing up the couch and I don't know what to do. I got the doggy blues. And it's like in the moment, what are you feeling? What are you going through? It was so beautiful to see these kids. Like, I got the Monday blues. I didn't want to come to school, And that's really important too, to just be able to express where you're at. And I love the craft of songwriting, people expressing how they're feeling. And, my two daughters didn't end up being like songwriters or really writers yet. But I always encouraged them, and I always wanted to know them more, maybe through their writing and what they couldn't say if they could put it into words. It's just so beautiful to do that. So I always encourage people, just write about everything, And we have, we're souls in these bodies, but we still are in the body, and we're experiencing, we're all here together, and we're all sharing a lot of these, the way we suffer and the way our joys, and there's a lot of, we can relate to one another through talking about our experiences. So I think that's really ultimately powerful.
Beautiful. Donna, we're going to take a very, very short break. We're going to be back, and then we're going to dive more into your new album, Gone Beyond.
Bringing a more conscious lifestyle to your world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. ascendinghearts.com.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
The United States has the highest rate of incarceration in the world. At the Equal Justice Initiative, we believe mass incarceration has to end. There is this presumption of dangerousness and guilt that gets assigned to Black and brown people. We have to confront our history of racial injustice and commit to a new era of truth. There's something better waiting for us, something that feels more like freedom. Truth can inspire change. Please learn more at eji.org.
Welcome back to Voice Rising. I'm your host, Kara Johnstad, and with me in studio today is Donna De Lory, and it is all about her new album. And Donna, Garth Brooks, he said, the human spirit is unbreakable, relentless, free. We've been talking a lot about healing. We know that life is fragile, and yet there is a resiliency, and we have this ability to mend. And you've said it often, this ability to heal, to be whole, to tune into our truth. I want to share with our audience the track that you have on your album. It is called Unbreakable. What is the story behind Unbreakable, and how has it changed you?
Well, I had found that poem by Mirabai. Have you heard of that poem before?
No.
She's a 15th century poet from India.
I know Mirabai. I'm not sure which poem you're... I do know Mirabai's poetry, but which poem was it?
So it's called Unbreakable. And I just loved the poem. You know, I've adapted, there's another Thich Nhat Hanh poem that I put on the end of my album, The Unchanging, which is from a poem called No Coming, No Going, and in a song called Life Without Boundaries. So I've kind of like adapted poetry before to song. And this time, you know, it's something I've been playing with for like 2-3 years. I just sit at the keyboard and, you know, I'd always be like, I got to record this. I got to put this down. You know, this is going to be so powerful. And I heard it like, it's her longing for her beloved, for Krishna. And to feel that union and that oneness, the lover and the beloved are one. That was her beloved. And Krishna with his flute, I just thought I have to put flute on there. I initially went to Manoj to ask him, this is another person I reached, you know, like as soon as we went into lockdown, I was like reaching out to everyone. Like, oh good, they're off tour now.
He's in Costa Rica. Were they in Costa Rica? Was he hanging out there with David? I think Manoj was back in Santa Cruz. Oh, okay.
I think he was with his family. He was back for a while. Anyway, it didn't work out. Then he didn't have time. You know, I don't know what happened, but it kind of fell through the cracks. So then Girish, who's a dear friend of mine, another amazing artist in this genre, he recommended someone else to me. So put the flute down, and then it's just really me playing the keyboards and ohms and, you know, layering. I initially thought about this record as like layer, put my voice down and then sing over it. But there is other music in there, but I could actually put mixes down of just all my vocals, and it would be, there would still be a lot of accompaniment there where you would hear like me, om, you know, like a continuous om, and then my voice would come in and out doing the pads. So I love those words. The chorus is unbreakable. Oh Lord, is this love that binds me to you. And like the bird that gazes at the passing moon, I have lost myself dwelling in you. Oh, my beloved, return. I just love those words. I just love unbreakable is this love, you know? I mean, what more can you say?
Yeah,
when you
this
feel
powerful,
that deeply.
right? This powerful bond. Exactly. Well, let's listen to it. Let's listen to Unbreakable and give everyone a taste of that beauty. Just like the bird, beautiful. Birds, they touch me. I'm sure they also touch you as a singer, Donna. Their trust, their ability to fly. I actually think that birds can only fly because they sing. That is my craziness. Donna, what does it mean to be a spiritual warrior in our time and these evolutionary times that we are in? What does that mean to you?
Spiritual warrior. I mean, you know, the first thing that flashed when you said that was just in your day, holding that positive space. When you go out into the world and you're experiencing negativity and maybe even people's conversations and what they say to you, being able to shift that and raise it up, raise the vibration. And I remember after lockdown, like when I started going out, I went down the street in Topanga to a store. A friend of mine owns a store, and I guess like this man who was kind of homeless, but he was on a bike, and they had this whole interaction. And then she called the police, and the police came and everything. And she was just obviously so scared and angry and everything. And I remember I just stayed in my, I've been at home in my calm place, and I was just turning it around like, he doesn't have a home, and he was just trying to build. He was carrying boxes. He was going to build a box house behind her store.
Yeah.
And just being there to listen to someone, but then being able to say, you know what, let's look at the other side of this,
right.
And you're protected, you're fine, and I don't know. I just remember that being one of the first times I went out and talked to a friend, and she just was so angry and worked up about it. And to keep that space for her that she was safe, and this person's not coming back, and then also to feel for that person, have compassion, and just feel
especially
that deeply.
How many people?
So many.
I was going to say, how many people? I mean, as musicians, we have very much struggled. But how many people lost their homes and their businesses? We had homeless people before, but after these lockdowns, there's many, many people, and for someone to be living in a cardboard box, it puts everything into perspective, right? What is
the mental illness? That we're going to just see that and come across that, and trying to take that higher road with people, and trying to find that compassion for each other. It's tough. It's a tough
What is your hope that you have? Where would you like to see our world be in 6 months from now, or 1 year from now?
Oh my gosh. I mean, working together, listening to one another, getting to a place, regarding, climate change, and regarding what humans impact on this planet. Just everyone. I always imagined, like, can we start all of these summits and everything with music? Like, can we have like a talking stick and pass it around, or can we just that's why I was psyched about Marianne Williamson getting in there. I'm like, she's going to bring some great tools, Yeah. So just get people to learn how to communicate. And I mean, it sounds corny and everything. Like when she was saying, I'm going to appeal to to people's hearts, and how she was going to win over Donald Trump and everything, was like, he's coming from this place of anger and fear and hatred, or whatever he was coming from. And that she was just coming from love. And being able to listen and appreciate one another for our differences. I think that's a good starting point. And I know that sounds really idealistic and everything, but I mean, we all want to be alive, right? We all want to be here on this planet. I mean, can we just get to like some common, I can't find the word right now, but
common ground,
ground, interest, objective of being here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like, no, I was going to say, you do know as a singer, and I think we all know that one powerful voice can ignite the world. But what music has, and anybody who's ever been part of a community choir or sang together, we can create harmony together. And we know that. And that's where we come together as a collective. We can take those words, climate change, and then put it into we can voice it together, and that's our power. We can empower each other, right?
Absolutely.
Any plans? We have about 30 seconds left, or a minute. Any plans with this new record? Are you doing concerts anywhere? Are you doing live stream concerts? Or this is a crazy time for musicians?
It's such a crazy time, honestly. Like there's some things that almost happened and they didn't because of COVID and regulations and everything. Probably some live stream coming up, a live stream over the maybe holiday times, maybe December. I'm continuing to just stay in this place of working on more healing music.
Beautiful.
And I'm encouraging my friends and people who support me to vote for me for the Grammy category for Best New Age Album. And that's kind of like going on right now, because for the first time they're letting like all the Grammy voters vote for this initial voting instead of like committees. So it's really coming from our peers in the industry. So I'm just I'm reaching out from the most authentic, heartfelt space. I feel like reaching out to people who I know have supported me. So
beautiful. Donna, thank you thank you for being on the show.
Holding the vision here with you, and thank you so much for your support and all the beauty that you contribute to this world as well.
Thank you. Hope to talk to you again soon. Good luck on your new album. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
We have the strength.